The black figures howled as they came closer and closer. They surrounded me just like the shadows had. I started feeling claustrophobic and I struggled to take breaths. Suddenly, I got a dangerous idea. I debated whether I should do it or not, but as soon as one of the black figures touched me, I made up my mind. Their touch was icy, so cold my shoulders still feel numb. It felt like someone had spilled liquid nitrogen on it. I leaped over the edge of the railing, even the black figures were shocked. They stopped howling as they watched me flail in the air. I landed hard on all fours and heard a distinct snap in my left ankle. I then collapsed further and my body thumped against the marble floor. Luckily, most of my body broke my fall and absorbed the force, but my head still came down hard on the marble floor. My nose hit first, followed by my forehead. I was surprised I didn't break my nose. I felt pain shoot up all through my head and I saw stars. My vision tunneled and narrowed. I was about to pass out, but I kept myself awake. My whole body was bruised and battered. The air was still knocked out of my lungs. I forced my muscles to work, but they only screamed in response. I heard the howling of the black figures again. Somehow this made me motivated to get out. I willed my body to get up. My entire body hurt like hell, but I didn't succumb to the pain. I kinda dragged my left leg and quickly ran to the security room access door from the first floor. Climbing the steps was like hell with my ankle and I was about to give up, but luckily I made it. As soon as I made it inside the security room, I dropped onto the floor and just laid down for a bit. My chest went up and down in an even rhythm as I thought about how I was going to get out of here. I checked the time on my watch. 3 a.m. The hands hadn't come from the walls, so it looked like I was getting a break from the routine walks. I rolled over onto my right side so I could weigh out my angle and have it rest on the floor. Suddenly, a glint of an object under the table caught my eye. I reached my hand out and found out that it was a small lighter. I tried to use it and sure enough, a flame erupted from it. I also found another note under the table. I'll transcribe it here. Hopefully you had found this just when you needed it. Rule 10 is a risky and dangerous rule that should only be acted upon if you are under extreme danger and there is absolutely no other escape. Rule 10 has a higher chance of being successful in the later hours of the shift as well, which is why we did not give the rule to you immediately. We hope you understand our concerns. This lighter will help you access Rule 10. By the time you will figure out how to access rule number 10 with the lighter, it will be late hours of your shift and it will be also the optimum time to put rule 10 into action if needed. Lemon juice is your best friend. I was so confused by the last line. Lemon juice? I thought. This was probably a code for someone's name. I started thinking about what lemon juice could mean when I heard the high-pitched beep once more. I looked up at the camera 9 and saw the black figures surrounding me outside. Basically what I had just experienced was replaying on camera 9. The black figures came closer and closer, but in this tape, I didn't jump off. I stayed there and crouched low and put my hands over my head. The black figures started prodding at me. My skin melted with each of their probs and slowly rolled down like wax. Soon my organs were melting and rolling down. The last thing I saw before the screen fully went black was me slowly turning into a puddle of water. I dry heaved into the rubbish bin and had a few sips of water from the water bottle. I then picked up my phone and started searching for users and other names for lemon juice. I needed to get out of here. Soon my watch chimed again, telling me it was 4 a.m. Only 4 more hours until the end of my shift. I cautiously went outside and brought the lighter with me for protection. Taking a round in the mall this time was worse. It was a totally different experience. I heard whispers all around me. It was like someone was gossiping about me in one corner of the mall. They were audible enough to hear but not to understand. I caught mere syllables, but when I did hear a word, it sent chills down my spine.
Mouse. Rip. Eat. Richard.
I stopped when I heard my name. I saw figures in my peripheral vision. I looked sharply to my sides but saw nothing. They were always in my peripheral vision but never in my reach. I checked my watch. 4:10. I started walking back to the security room when I saw a black figure right in front of me. It was of a deep black color, the color when there's a total absence of light. It was a mesmerizing color, darker than the shadows themselves. It stood out. It looked like the total absence of matter, like someone had cut a human-shaped hole in space-time itself. I stared at it for a little too long until I realized I was closing my eyes. I quickly closed my eyes and blindly ran for the next shop. My already hurt ankle smashed against a shelf and I fell onto the floor. I hoped I was in the shop and I just lay still and prayed that I had made it inside the shop. I counted to 360 while lying still and waiting. Suddenly my eyes grew droopy and I felt extremely sleepy. My muscles all relaxed into a deeply relaxed state and my head was foggy. My mind urged me to relax and just lay down for a bit more. I opened my eyes and closed them again. My eyelids were too heavy. I think I just need a bit of sleep. I struggled for a bit before I finally let the urge to sleep take over me. I had no fight left in me and sleep was a blissful option. If I had to die tonight, I'd die sleeping. As my consciousness drained out of my body, the last thing I saw before I completely closed my eyes were black figures surrounding me. By then, my brain didn't even register them as danger and I was in the dream world. I woke up into the security room. I checked my time immediately upon waking up. 6 a.m. Ah, shit. I realized that I had fallen asleep for 2 hours. I broke the rules and I waited for the consequences. Since I've been posting everything about my shift to Reddit, I read through the comments and saw the frantic comments that urged me to wake up. I'm sorry I did you guys like that. Suddenly my eyes widened when I saw someone comment, "Lemon juice can be used as an invisible writing. Try using the lighter and heat up the rules paper. Rule 10 should appear." I had hit the jackpot. I quickly pulled out both the rule sheet and the lighter. Before something happened in the security room, I needed to get out of here. I lit the lighter and cautiously waved it over the rule sheet. I made sure not to burn the sheet but also heat it up adequately. I was about to lose hope when I saw the faint outlines of brown letters on the underside of the sheet. I brought the letter closer and the letters appeared clearer. I'll transcribe what it said. Rule 10. Now you realize why this rule was hidden. It is only to be used as a last resort. Let's say you fell asleep during your shift. That's when you must use this rule. If you don't, you will die a horrible death in the mall. You have around 15 minutes upon your awakening to utilize this rule. If you don't manage to follow this rule in 15 minutes, the mall will never let you out. You should have woken up into the security room. Now climb up the stairs to the roof of the mall and jump off. Trying to jump off from the backside of the mall and land at the grass of the forest surrounding the mall. Hopefully that'll cushion your fall and minimize injury. Try to land on all fours. We will collect you soon. By now I knew that I must follow the rules. I haven't always been too good with heights, but I needed to do this. I got up and flinched when I put weight on my ankle. I slowly climbed up the stairs. I checked my watch. 6:07 a.m. I have tons of time. I made it to the roof and then slowly started walking over the edge of the roof. There was still a raised fence type area on the roof, so I had to carefully move myself over it. I moved myself over the ledge and looked down. My heart nearly jumped out of my throat. It was very, very high up. My legs were dangling off the edge. I noped out and started to move back onto the roof. I would die from the fall. Suddenly, I saw the black figures emerging from the roof exit I had come from just minutes ago. They were hungry for me and they howled as they moved closer. They slowly surrounded me and I was torn between two options: jump the roof or face the figures. My instinct got the better of me and I quickly swung myself over the edge and jumped. Time slowed down. I slowly watched the unforgiving hard ground come closer to my feet. I frantically moved my hands trying to fly like a bird, but gravity didn't give up. I looked up and saw the black figures looking down at me over the edge. I looked down again and the ground was not so far away. My legs hit first. I heard multiple cracks. My knees were next and then my hands. I felt my wrists shatter at the impact. A twig impaled my right shin. My whole body burned in pain for my final few moments before my head also hit the ground and it all went black. I woke up to the rhythmic beeps of hospital machines. My vision was blurry and my entire body was aching. My head was foggy and I couldn't think straight. I heard the TV somewhere above me. Shopping mall caught fire. Security guard had to jump off the roof to save himself. I heard snippets of an interview, but I couldn't recall anything and I fell unconscious once again. When I woke up properly, my whole body was in pain. The anesthetics had worn off and my head was clear. Most of my body was in a cast, but the doctors told me I'd make a full recovery in a couple of months. I found a $10,000 check on my table. They paid me more than double my rate. Soon my family came in and they asked me how I was. Apparently the mall had caught fire and I jumped off to save myself. I tried to tell them what had actually happened, but they gave me concerned looks. They called a doctor and I had figured out that they think my memory had been messed up due to the concussion I had. The $10,000 were apparently a donation from the security company and they also paid all my hospital fees. I finally managed to get my phone off my mom and saw a message. "We're glad you're doing well. We believe you have the ability to now be a permanent member of our security team at the mall. We will pay you a rate of $75 per hour and will cover your medical bills. This time you will be working at the entrance of the mall. The details of your next shift will be given to you when you recover. Also, remember, we have Dylan's body."